guys, it's Alice and welcome to another weird, super niche recommendations video because apparently I can only think of like very weird recommendations these days, like books about bees or like the books in this video, which is books with swans on the cover. So this is just an idea that popped into my head, so I'm just doing it. But I will say, all of these books are like pretty weird. So if you're not into weird books, this isn't the thing for you, but if you are, you have come to the right place. The first book I have is The Maker of Swans by Padraig O'Donnell. This is the strange tale of Mr. Crow, who has these weird magical powers. It's about him, his mute ward, his very loyal manservant, and the people that come to his house after he commits a crime of passion. And if that sounds vague and weird to you, it's because it is. I will say, I did read this like 4 years ago, and I don't remember that much of the plot. I just remember loving the writing. And the writing style is the kind of writing style where sometimes things get a little bit confusing, but I just remember it being very striking, and I remember loving the atmosphere in this and how it has this like weird gothic feel to it that I really liked. And it is kind of a puzzling book. It's not the kind of book that will give you all the answers, but I just remember it being a very weird but fun experience. The second book I want to mention I don't actually have a copy of right now, and it is Strange Heart Beating by Ellie Goldstone. This is the story of a man who tries to look into the past of his wife after she has been killed by a swan. And I'm pretty sure this is like a retelling of a fairy tale or a poem or something, and I think it's called like Leda and the Swan or something. This is another very interesting reading experience, and again, what I liked the most about this was the writing. It's dark and funny and lyrical, but it's not overly done, if you know what I mean. And I remember really liking the atmosphere in this and how it explored grief and the fact that you can't always ever really know someone. Both this and The Maker of Swans have something in common in that they're both really beautifully written and they're both very weird. I also think both of them are debut novels, which often aren't perfect, but I think there's something very interesting going on in both of these. Lastly, we have got a book I read quite recently, and it is The Wild Swans by Hans Christian Andersen. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this, and maybe some of you read it when you were a kid. This particular edition has The Wild Swans as well as another story called The Nightingale, but The Wild Swans is the main story, which is a fairy tale about this princess who has 11 brothers, and they are all very happy until their father decides to remarry. This is a magical little read, and it has beautiful imagery and atmosphere, and I think although fairy tales tend to be quite odd, I think out of the 3 books that I've shown you today, this is maybe the one that's easiest to like, and I think that reading it when you're an adult is a really interesting experience. Okay guys, those were the 3 books that I wanted to tell you about today. I realized that this is like, it's very odd, but I just had the idea and I couldn't get it out of my head, so I just had to do it. But I would actually love to know if any of you have any ideas for like themes for these types of videos where I recommend 3 books that have something in common, because I'm obviously struggling to come up with anything other than like very odd things. So let me know if you have any suggestions, and also, since we're already having like a weird day, let me know if you have any favorite books that have anything to do with swans, because why not? And I will see you soon. Bye!